Caitlin Clark is not quite ready. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. And the more I watch Caitlin Clark, the more I'm convinced women's basketball isn't ready. Caitlin Clark's more than ready. She helped her WNBA All-Star team beat the USA Women's Olympic team this weekend. She was the best playmaker. She had 10 assists, best playmaker. One of her teammates scored 34, and Caitlin just kept feeding her the ball. And the most assists in the win, double-digit assists in 7 of her last 8 games, despite the WNBA butchering her early schedule, snubbing her for the Olympics. They put her on the WNBA All-Star team. Indiana now is a real potential playoff team. And what do you know? She led everybody in assists as they beat the Olympic team. Clearly, she stretches the floor. She's great with spacing. And she's also, in my opinion, a perfect Olympic or All-Star player, especially Olympics. All-Star games are a little bit of showing off. But the Olympics, if you're not the second, third best player on the team, and she wouldn't be yet, you need to be a facilitator, not a ball hog. I would argue with Caitlin Clark, she passes too much. Now, in the All-Star game this weekend, her shooting was off, but her playmaking wasn't. And so the women's Olympic team said, if we put her on the team, there is no question she's going to be a distraction. Well, you know what's a distraction? Her not on the team. That's what everybody's talking about. So and here's the other thing, is that I've learned with women's basketball as a whole, they're very much like men's soccer in America. They're a little petty. They've been ignored to a larger degree than other sports, and they've got a chip on their shoulder, and they're sort of a prove you belong. For United States men's national team, the soccer fans, it's like you have to have a passcode to even talk about the sport online. And for women's basketball, it's this constant prove you belong. Caitlin Clark belongs on the Olympic team. She belongs on the All-Star team. She belongs in the skills competition. And here's the thing, women's basketball, you can't use the excuse that she caught you off guard. Because a lot of times, overnight sensations do catch businesses off guard. But Ticketmaster, you knew Taylor Swift was a massive hit 8 years earlier. Be prepared. And 2 years before she entered the WNBA, Caitlin Clark, for Little Iowa, was setting college basketball records. She came back for her final year. You knew 2 years in advance, we got a star. 1 year in advance, she'll be the number 1 pick. There was no excuse butchering her early schedule. There's no excuse not having months and months of discussions on the Olympic team. She's clearly one of the better offensive, long-range performers in the league. I'd argue she's first or second best playmaker, leads the WNBA in assists, 7 of her last 8 games, double-digit assists. And this is for a team that doesn't have a lot of finishers, the Indiana Fever. So she always says the right stuff at the podium. She's going to downplay this win by her All-Star team over the coveted Olympic team she's not good enough to be on. So far, she's more than prepared and capable. It's women's basketball that's not quite ready for Caitlin Clark. She continues to always say the right things at the right time. And I'm going to stay on this Olympic snub to the very end, despite the fact they'll win gold.
Okay, so I wholeheartedly agree with everything Colin is saying, but he still keeps saying the wrong why. He's saying that the WNBA was not ready for Caitlin Clark, and I reject that. They knew exactly who Caitlin Clark was. They do not want her to be the face of the league. They do not want her. This isn't just an earn your keep. That's not what this is. This is beyond that. Okay, I'm not going to get too political, but it's just a fact. When you go to other popular women's sports blogs and websites, you can see that she doesn't even have articles written about her. I already highlighted this in a previous video that I highly suggest you check out. Okay, the WNBA does not want Caitlin Clark elevated to this legendary status. They're very upset and uncomfortable by it because of everything Caitlin Clark represents, who she is, what her background is. They want the Angel Reese. They want the Britneys, these other players to do it. Okay? Like that's what they want. They don't want it to be all about Caitlin Clark. It makes them very uncomfortable. And it's such a frustrating experience to see because she's clearly one of the best players on the court, the other night on the All-Star game. I watched every single second of that game. She was clearly one of the best. And now people will say, oh, she only scored 4 points. She is the Steph Curry level playmaker and attention. All the attention is on her. They're picking her up full court press at the other end. I mean, it's insane. They put so much time and energy and effort into guarding Caitlin Clark that it completely opens up the court for everyone else. She makes that all go around. It's not always about how many points you score or even how many assists. Sometimes it's the attention that you're drawn to. And that's what we see with Steph Curry. So, and that's the Caitlin Clark effect. That's what Caitlin Clark does just from a strictly game playing. But it's just so annoying because the WNBA is always working against her. There was lots of other people going for records on Saturday, and they didn't even let Caitlin Clark go for the record for most assists. She sat out for a weird stretch, and then when she finally got in the game, they were like not, the other women weren't like running around, like they weren't letting her get those assists. Not to say that they should give it to her, but they were like going out of their way to like not make it happen. Like it's just such a weird effect. And you can see that the camaraderie with the other women on the court is so much more intense relative to Caitlin Clark. When someone else makes a shot, makes a pass, whatever it is, they like go running to them, high fives, like it's like all that energy. Caitlin Clark does something great. She's like off to the side alone. Sure, she'll get a high five. I mean, she's not completely ostracized, but you can tell the energy and the affection that she gets from the other women is just night and day. Night and day. And it's a shame. It's really, really sad to see. It's frustrating to see because it doesn't need to be that. It really doesn't. I just don't know why these women, it's more than just petty. It's more than them just being petty. It's rejection. They would feel better if Caitlin Clark wasn't as successful. Petty is like, I don't want you to, but or you have to earn your strikes. You have to earn it, and we're going to make it difficult for you, but we're going to still allow it, and we'll still accept the outcome. This is more like if you really got some of these women with some truth serum and asked them, do you want Caitlin Clark to succeed in the WNBA, yes or no? Majority of them would say no. They don't want it. They don't want what she represents and who she is. It runs deeper than just the WNBA not ready for her. It's just that clear to me. It's that clear to a lot of people. I mean, literally, the WNBA signed a $2.2 billion deal. All because of Caitlin Clark. It's just, you can't dispute it. She brought all the ratings, all the energy. Like, it's indisputable. Indisputable. And yet they put Asia Wilson on the cover of that deal to make it look like her. NBA 2K, WNBA 2K. They put Wilson on the cover. Not Caitlin Clark. Not the one who is a literal international cultural phenomenon right now. Who's breaking record after record after record after record. Who's dominating the sport as a rookie. Don't you think that maybe she should be on the cover of this game? Don't you think maybe she should be the face of that new deal that just signed for $2.2 billion? It's just bonkers to me. It really, really is. And I made another video as well where I think she was pressured, not directly, but made to feel so uncomfortable, and that's why she wasn't in the skills in the three-point contest. Because they want to say, share the wealth, share the fame. And I think she kind of goes along with it. She always says the right thing at the mic. She always says things like, I wanted a break, I wanted this, like, because she does the right thing. But to me, if you read between the lines, it's just very obvious. It's very obvious. And I just love that she keeps conquering and keeps stepping up and rising to the occasion. I really, really do. I mean, it was just so obvious that they wanted Caitlin to fail in this All-Star game, and she still sets the rookie record for most assists and would have broke Sue Bird's record if the powers that be didn't work against her. So it's just, it's so fascinating to see, honestly. And I take great pleasure in watching these women wanting her to fail so badly, and yet she still succeeds. I mean, she's so clearly one of the best players out there. It's just not even funny. Just her energy and her youth and her skill set is like second. The way she handles the ball, gets down the court, her vision, the way she spreads the court, it's just unreal. It's unreal. And the truth is, the women know it. They could be as petty as they want. They could be the biggest haters as they want, but they know it. Anyone who's bald knows when there's someone that you really do not like, but they're good, it eats at you. Because you're just like, ugh, I hate this guy so much, but he knocks down every shot. And at first, you're like, oh my God. You tell yourself that was just luck. Oh my God, he's just getting lucky. He's just hot right now. Oh, easy shot. And then when they keep doing it and doing it and doing it, eventually you have to be like, man, that guy's just good. I hate him to death, but my God, he just makes every shot. Every shot. And you have to just finally admit, okay, he's great. He's elite. And anyone who's played a lot of ball, especially if you're playing like even just more pickup ball, like you come across that type of person. It just happens. Caitlin Clark is that person to the entire WNBA. That's who she is to the entire WNBA. And it is awesome to watch. It really, really is. And again, makes it even better that she says the perfect thing every time she's asked. She never gives the other side any type of fuel, because she's a class act and she's putting on a master class for both on the court and off the court. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? Do you think that the WNBA just isn't ready for Caitlin Clark? Or do you think they just don't want Caitlin Clark? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.